What's up, everybody? Figured I'd go live here with the WlToys since I had everything all set up. Got another battery in my GoPro, so let's just kind of go over what we got. All right, so there she is. And there's the body. So I'm just going to kind of give it a little bit of a run here. I'm still working on the steering a little bit. I haven't quite got that gnawed out, but you know, we'll kind of work on it as we go. So right now I'm just waiting for a few people to join and we'll get started. All right, so I got everything all set up now to where I can actually pay attention to what's going on. So just gonna kind of wait and see if somebody joins. I think that number 1 is for me. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and get the car set up, have it ready to rock and roll. That way we can kind of see what this thing is going to do. It still has some slop in there. I don't really know how to get all that out yet. I'm thinking about maybe putting some bushings in there or something. I don't know. It's kind of an animal. So while we're waiting, just gonna run it a little bit here, run it around. That way when somebody watches it later, they can kind of check it out. Give me your thoughts and opinions on it, guys. It's been a fun little build. It turned out pretty well. It's one of those things where if I'd have known what I was putting in it, I probably would have just bought one and then upgraded from there. So steering trim is still off, so let's see if we can get that fixed here real quick. This is running on a little 2-cell. Yeah, this thing's a little ripper, man. I love it. For 2-cell, it's awesome. And those of you that watch the channel will know that my last video, this thing was very uncontrollable. I've got most of the steering issues, you know, somewhat gnawed out now. It still has a few glitches every once in a while. I don't know why. So it is running pretty good now. So I'm pretty happy with the way it's performing right now. See if anybody's on here. Okay, nobody's on yet. And this is the most This is the most that I actually enjoy about the truck. When I first put this thing together, I had such cogging and everything because I bought a cheap ESC. Yes, I know you never should do that. And what it would do is when it would start, it would, you know, do this whole little jerky, stuttery thing. It pretty much doesn't do that now. I've got a hobby wing in there. Let me just show you what it does when you take off now. Nice and steady. Now, it's not 100% perfect. I still got, you know, a few things to figure out. The rear end, the differential back there, I think has some issues. So I'm going to be looking into that at some point because it's very loose. And the grease that has in it shouldn't be as loose as what it is. So I don't know if I've got something that's trying to come apart or I lost a tooth or something. But I'm going to be looking into that eventually. And this transmitter I'm using, I'm pretty happy with because I can get some decent range out of it. See how it does that funky little, you know, moving around and all that kind of stuff there. I don't know why it does that. So that's another issue I've got to work on gnawing out, because when it does, it kind of gets that little jittery thing going back and forth, you know, and it is what it is. So it's something else to kind of play around with, get it figured out, and then hopefully it'll run better, you know, going forward. Now I do know that a lot of these WlToys have a lot of those similar issues. Some of them come factory that way. Some of them after you upgrade. So I know that that's not gonna entirely go away, and that's okay. I'm all right with that. This here, I like the way that looks. I don't know if it's like a Chevy C10 or something similar, Dodge. You know, it's kind of a cool little body. I just thought it was a pretty nice fit, so I threw it on there, and it seems to work out pretty nice. So let's see here. All right, let's get on here and look underneath, see if anything is coming loose, doing anything stupid. Now, I did bring a set of screwdrivers with me, which I constantly keep forgetting to do. So I actually did do that today, so I can make sure everything stays tight. These, for some reason, want to always come loose. I don't know why. Those are still pretty tight. And I do have Loctite on these. I don't have much on there, but I do have some Loctite, so. But this is one thing I was talking about with the rear end. So this is a recent issue. So watch it when I kind of speed it up a little bit. Notice this wheel over here. It will get rolling, but it's like something is wrong in the differential back here. See how it's got, you got a little bit of resistance there, but not a lot. So something is something's going on back there. I'm wanting to think that maybe feels like maybe, I don't know, maybe even a shim come out of there. That's very possible. So I'll have to look into that. I did have some shims in there. It was nice and tight. A lot like the front here. So if you look, the front's pretty tight. If you can see that here with my big head in the way. The front's pretty tight. The back was like that. Now it's not. So something's come off somewhere. You know, and it just kind of lends to all the issues that I've had with the truck. It's not the end of the world. You know, I will figure it out. But as of right now, you know, I just kind of wanted to get it out, run it a little bit, see what it'll do in its current state. And I think I've got the steering pretty close. This is what I was talking about with the steering. So it's not the slop here. It's these arms and the steering rack or whatever. I don't know why that's so loose, but I've got some plans to put some shims in there, maybe even on this side here. I think that's part of it, and see where that lands me. So I just wanted to do a quick little live here. If anybody shows up, they do. If they watch it later, that's great. You got anything like this yourself? Have you had any problems, issues? Have you built one? You know, what can you give me as far as pointers go? Because this thing here, I think, could be a nice little truck. I just got a few things to still work out here. And obviously the rear end here, I believe that's a differential issue. Hopefully something's just come off and it didn't destroy anything in the back. That's why I don't want to run it real hard. At least that's my hope anyway. So we'll kind of see where that goes. All right, so I think I'm going to go ahead and end this here now. I really just wanted to do it real quick, see you know, see if anybody had any pointers or whatever. It's fine if you comment on it later. That's cool too. A lot of people get a hold of me later after I do something. That's totally fine. I'm just kind of looking to see if anybody else has any ideas on what's going on with this truck. Sorry, I'm kind of blocking the camera. Didn't realize that. I'm just looking to see if anybody has any ideas of what's going on. I know the rear end is probably something in a differential, so I'll gnaw that out. But what about the steering? The steering itself is kind of annoying. And it's been something that has been driving me kind of nuts. Get this thing to stand up here. Bear with me. There we go. So it's been kind of driving me nuts a little bit because I don't like a sloppy steering setup, and I mean there's a lot of movement there, but it's not coming from inside here. I've replaced all this thinking maybe that was it. It's coming from these arms, but the arms are tight, so I'm thinking it's maybe the steering rack. I don't know. That's the only other thing I can think of, is maybe throwing some more shims on there, seeing if maybe that'll kind of help gnaw it out. I don't know. That's gonna be the next step for this truck, and honestly, I think it'll be a good little truck once I get that, you know, straightened out. I've got a nice chassis on it now. I've got nice electronics in there. The radio that I chose, I believe is pretty good. This one is a cheaper one, but some of these cheaper ones are like rebranded radios and stuff. And this one seems to work really well. So I like the range and everything on it. I can go all the way down there and all the way down the other side there. So I've got plenty of range for anything I want to do with this little guy here. I get this thing close to the school over there, which is where I'm at now. I get it close to the school, and I kind of get to the point where it's hard to starting to be able to be hard to see the truck itself. I mean, you can see that it's moving around and stuff, but you can't really tell what it's doing too well until you look at it real close because it's so far away, and you know it's tiny. But I'm okay with everything else that's on it. Just figure out the rear end and the steering. The steering is the next step, maybe some shims, something like that. So what do you guys think? You know, this little project has been a lot of fun. Again, if you are going to do something like this, I don't advise building it from scratch. I've got more than what I should have in it. I would buy one and then upgrade from there. Just seems to be a better way to go. But I do recommend the carbon fiber chassis. That seems to be pretty cool. It keeps the weight down. It's nice and firm. Don't have any issues there. I do like the metal parts that I have on there, and generally speaking, I'm not a metal parts guy. I like a lot of plastic, so it gives flex, but this truck here seems to do well with the metal, so maybe it just depends on the scale or the truck itself, so I don't know. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. We'll go ahead and end this now, and I really appreciate anybody that will come up and see this video later, and you know, any pointers you can give me.